Hi folks, I'm Charlotte Markle, SFWS alum, class of 2011, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a desert bloom out of beeswax. When you receive your beeswax, it will be wrapped in plastic and roughly in the shape of a fruit leather. This is not the only time during the process that you or your child may be tempted to eat the beeswax. Go ahead and give it a sniff, take in that distinctive aroma. Now the first and most important step is going to be to warm the beeswax so that you can work with it. Now while there are many possible methods for warming beeswax, there is really only one, and your kindergartner will be able to confirm this, there's only one proper way to warm beeswax.
Leave the beeswax in place in your armpit for the length of one hastily recited morning verse.
I look into the world, wherein there shines the sun, wherein there gleam the stars, wherein there lie the stones. The plants they live and grow, the beasts they feel and live, and human beings the spirit give a dwelling to them.
So the flower that we're going to be making today is a cactus flower or Phyllocereus Dr. Burkett?
You can create the blossom by making small petal shapes out of the beeswax and then molding them together into a flower using the warmth of your hands.
Beeswax, or Bienenwachs, is good for everything. I mean, if you're not using beeswax in your candles, pencils, crayons, skincare, food storage, do you even Waldorf?
The cactus plant itself can be formed by creating a cylinder out of the green beeswax and then using your fingers to pull out small spikes from the body of the cylinder.
But remember, for Steiner approval, avoid right angles at all costs.
The rest of this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to speed it up and cover it with some relaxing background music.
And there we go. You have now successfully created a desert bloom out of beeswax.
First foible of the evening is starting off spring night muted. Good evening, dear friends. Welcome to Spring Night 2020. I am your host, Colin Connolly. I have two beautiful children at the grade school with my wife, my lovely and patient wife, Samantha. Declan in 4th grade and Nola in 2nd grade. I would like to bring them out quickly to say hello, ever so quickly. So you want to say hi to your friends?
Hi.
All right, so they know that Daddy's busy, so you guys want my phone for the evening?
I don't know how to work it.
I'm just kidding. We're gonna give you some of this.
Woohoo!
That panned out pretty well. So they're good kids. They've been learning a lot these last weeks. They have a lot of new interests. They like to stare out the window for a few hours at a time. They like to slowly tear the pages out of books into little pieces. And they like to count the number of wine bottles in my recycling bin in large, loud, judgy voices. So tonight marks my 3rd year hosting Spring Night, and I gotta say it's holding up pretty well. I mean, we're not in a swanky nightclub like we are usually. You are in my living room. I know how to read. Part of the bingo tonight should be to count how many people are posing in front of books for their Zoom calls this evening. I think it'll go pretty well for you. And there's no past appetizers and there's no bar, but I mean, you're home. You can go to the fridge whenever you want. No one's going to cut you off. You don't have to pay for a sitter. I might show you my hamster later if things go poorly. Anything could happen. So things are different, obviously, but I promise that things are still very much the same in a lot of ways. The Spring Night Committee has put in just as much work tonight as they have for any evening. And so all that planning has been going on and on. It's been very difficult and very fun at the same time. You're going to get to see what a lot of your fellow families have been up to. You're going to get to visit with some teachers, amazing, amazing teachers who we are so grateful for. They have been working so much extra hard, giving us all the care and attention and love we need during these times. And we appreciate you at home watching this. We couldn't do this without you. This is for you. Thank you all so, so much. So not to put a downer on the Love Fest, but it's time to bring out our advancement director, Mitch Mitchell. How's it going, buddy?
Going great, Colin. Thanks for that intro. You know, I'm so glad we were actually able to pull this off. You know, it gave me a chance to really dress up for once in the past several weeks.
I think you're probably wearing shorts, Mitch. Those don't seem to match what you're wearing.
Eyes up here, Colin. So, you know, we've got a great night planned. But first, I want to thank you for being such a great sport and jumping in when we couldn't get anyone else to replace you. You know? But seriously, thank you, Colin. You've made this a really fun project. And I know you were expecting me to jump right in and talk about the online auction and the funding need, but I need to take a moment and thank a few people. First, working behind the scenes tonight is a great technical team, Michael Slade and Scott Ethersmith. They put in a lot of long hours working with all of our live personalities and making the right tweaks here and there, and frankly, dealing with my last minute changes and suggestions. So they have been amazing. And I also want to thank Jenna Leibowitz, our Spring Night chair. We started back a year ago thinking through this year's event, went to several events and went through several event venue cancellations. We finally identified Mercado and we went down and sampled their food and it was going to be great. And then all that got thrown out the window, you know?
Yep.
So of course, for those who know Jenna, she has such a can-do attitude, such a positive attitude. And when we all figured out we had to stay home, she quickly stepped up and started transforming this event. So from working out a great deal with the Little Brothers for the food to building up an awesome Spring Night committee, at every turn she was there with a huge smile. And I just think what she does is amazing.
I agree.
Oh, I'm holding for applause. She deserves it. So if you ever get out in public again and you happen to see Jenna, make sure you give her a big hug and a big thank you in person. So, Colin, now on with the show.
Thanks, Mitch. That was beautiful and oddly exhilarating. There's been a lot of false information going on out there these days. And I thought I would take this platform to perhaps address a few of those more insidious rumors. So the first thing I want to talk about is this theory going on that the shelter-in-place order is going to somehow ignite or kick off some sort of crazy baby boom in the next 9 months. And if that's your reality, then my hats are off to you. But around this house, things are a little different. So just imagine quarantine Colin sitting on a couch over there, slumped over, smelling bad. No one's looking at me. And I'm the only one who goes grocery shopping outside. So I'm pretty much untouchable. So it keeps all of us safe. This is family friendly, by the way. The second bit of bad information that is out there is that thing, those recipes where people are mixing vodka and aloe vera together to kill germs. And that is just not effective. It's not practical, but it's still not a bad idea, because if you make it thick enough and you pour it into a martini glass, you can spill it on the floor and you can still scoop it up and slurp it right before you crawl into your crying place. So that's just a pro tip for you guys. You can think about that later. And last, the worst rumor of all was that there was going to be no song tonight. I typically require a very large stage to perform a song, but the fact of the matter is that I don't even know if this camera is on. I just know it's spring night and I know that I have a song and I'm going to sing it. So I'm going to do that. It's a little fun romp through the trials and tribulations of parenting during a lockdown. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Desert Bloom, strangely enough. And it goes like this. The halls of school are quiet and the wind sings a lonely song. The joyful laughs and the gleeful shouts of students are all gone. We thought we'd plan our days just right until the danger passed. But I don't have to tell you that it sure unraveled fast. Well, we planned on morning walks and doing household chores. We planned out learning blocks and we'd stay away from stores. But it was not meant to be, Lord, it didn't last a week. I'll be wearing our pajamas all day long and never brushing our teeth. So I'm locked inside here, making homemade hand sanitizer while we're living how the Lord of the Flies here. The kids are poking me with a sharp and pointy stick. The teachers should be pleased because first they crocheted a case for it. Well, the kids have played with every game, done every jigsaw puzzle. They're tired of the dog and they're tired of each other. They're hungry all the time and wandering from room to room. Take me to the sweet, wide open land of the desert bloom. Desert bloom, I hear you calling to me. Sweet relief from social distancing. I travel far for a sweet taste of that open bar. Desert bloom, I swear we're coming soon. 'Cause the kids have played with every game,
done every jigsaw puzzle. They're tired of the dog, and they're tired of each other. They're hungry all the time and wandering from room to room. Take me to the sweet, wide open land of the desert blue. Take me to the sweet, wide open land of the desert blue.
And the silence after that song was about as sad and awkward as I imagined it to be. So I'm glad we have verification on that. But the lucky thing is we have a great recorded version of that song. We recorded and collaborated with a bunch of the Dusty Gnomes, with Lebo, and we couldn't get a video together in time for this, but it turned out actually pretty well. So we'll figure out a way to release it after the fact, and it's pretty good, and we play it right. So it's time to get the party started, and I think that nothing starts a party like talking to our administrative director, Craig Appel. Craig, do you want to come on and say hello to the nice people? There he is. How's it going?
Hi, Colin. It's going okay. It feels as awkward talking to this screen as I'm sure it felt for you to play that music, but it sounded great to me. And I'm glad to hear at least you can laugh back. Thank you. Colin and Mitch looking good, dressed up. As Colin said, I'm kind of more in the Colin boat. I finally showered and shaved. And I'm also at that age where I need to trim my ear hair, which I did for this special occasion. So, and I am wearing this bandana, not as personal protective equipment to go off to the grocery store. I'm like Colin, I'm also the grocery shopper in our family. But as a fashion accessory, which I think my wife will attest, it's the first time in my life I've used the word fashion accessory.
You look good.
It's taken shelter in place to get that to happen. As Colin said, as most of you know, I'm Craig Appel and the administrative director. And you may also know that I am a parent of 4 children in our school spanning the grades. And we all know this is obviously a crazy and difficult and challenging time for people in our city and around the world and in our own community, parents and families and faculty and students. And I'm just really, in the build up to this, I've gotten really excited and I'm so grateful that we can gather together in this virtual way. And I hope off there in the YouTube streamland, you guys are feeling this, the excitement that we're feeling by being able to do this. And like so many parents I've spoken to, I think what I've found that's brought the most light to me and my family is really been able to witness our children and the resilience and the freedom and really the joy that they brought in these challenging and changing times. And there's been some really good moments for our family during this shelter in place. For instance, one time my wife and I took a break from work and the 3 older kids took a break from schoolwork. And we all sat down to be the audience for our youngest child, Macy, to perform her puppet show rendition of the Bremen Town Musicians. And as a kindergartner, we know that's her schoolwork. So it was just a beautiful family moment. But of course, those idyllic moments don't last forever, as we know. And we had to all get up and bump into each other in our small house on our way back to work. And we may have even yelled at each other a little bit. That happens quite a bit around here these days. But still, even in those anxious and difficult moments, but also in the beautiful moments, I really look at my children and am so grateful to our school and faculty. Even from a distance, whether it's through the screen or through a phone call, or as my daughter reminds me, through the invisible string that connects us all, they feel the love and attention and care from their teachers. And that is what gives them that light that I see in my kids. And I think it's that light that's going to be needed by this world when we do come out of this hurdle, we come out of this challenge, that they can shine that light brightly for the whole world. And we are going to overcome this hurdle together as a school and as a community. This is such a great moment and a great start for our community to be able to come together and celebrate so many different parts of the school and also to support the school in whatever way we can. So I just want to add my voice of thanks for all you guys watching and Snapchatting and other social media things. It's not my strength. Maybe Instagramming, whatever
sound
you're doing
cool.
out there, to let us know what you're doing and make this feel like a community event, even though we're all doing this together, even alone. So thank you all. And I do want to add one final thank you. As Mitch said, this group of volunteers, parent volunteers, and these incredible technical support volunteers of alumni and friends and family of our school have created this event out of thin air and delivering it over even thinner air and thinner fiber optic cable. And it's amazing. So thank you all. And thank you all for joining us in this way to celebrate and support the school.
Thank you so much, Craig. And I just want to apologize to Craig personally and in front of everyone for the comment I may or may not have sent him and Gita a few weeks back. And it hit really that sweet note between insincere gratitude, total panic, guilt, desperation. I'm just going to say sorry for that right now.
Colin, thank you for the apology. I will say it's really been great to get so many comments, and they've been all over the spectrum from parents, and it's really helped us figure this out. And I have to say, when I saw the comment that came from you and it had your name on it, I told Deepa we don't need to read that one. So no need to apologize.
I knew it. I knew it. Well, that's probably for the best, actually. Good on you. So see you later, Craig. Thank you so much. So as you all know, our school is a wonderful, wonderful place, and nowhere was that more on display last year than at the Waldorf 100 celebration, and we held that in Golden Gate Park last year. If you were too busy huddling under a tent to stay dry to see all the great stuff that went on, well, you are in luck, because we are going to give you a quick look at that day and a little bit at what makes the wider Waldorf community so wonderful. So if we could roll that video. Thank you.
Welcome. Today we are celebrating 100 years of Waldorf education. In 1919, Rudolf Steiner, the founder and visionary behind Waldorf education, believed that society needed to take a new direction. Today, there are more than 1,000 Waldorf schools and over 2,000 Waldorf kindergartens in more than 90 countries.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Waldorf education is an education of human connection, relationship, and community. It is centered on the question, who are we as human beings, and how can education bring forth those unique human capacities? In our thinking, it is critical thinking, independent thinking, and vision. In our feeling life, it is courage, compassion, and creativity. And in our will, it is perseverance and determination. We are here in the rain. We're still going to celebrate.
And I'm going to try to frame some of what I'm going to say in terms of brain science, because I believe that for many of the ideas that are being put into place in Waldorf education, there actually is a firm basis in brain science.
Steiner believed that fundamentally, all education is self-education. When a child is seen as a person with an inner space, and when every lesson is reflected within, something profound happens. That child can enter out into the world with a sense of knowing who they are and a sense of truth. And education, therefore, can cultivate a space within for empathy. Empathy is the first step towards social renewal.
Emphasis in Waldorf education on implicit learning, on the arts, on things that you do manually, on language, is actually a very good thing, because that emphasizes the strength of the child during that stage of development. One can still learn things like math and physics in later years in high school, whereas in early years during elementary and middle school, you can learn skills like in music or language that are much more difficult to pick up later. And so, in my own experience, I actually learned virtually no science before I came to high school, because that's the way how the Waldorf school curriculum was. I don't think it has hurt me, and I think that it's more important to develop the strengths and the individuality of the child, and to develop things like language and art in early times, and then to move on as the child develops. I am very grateful for the education I have received, and that I think that more than ever nowadays, where things are changing, where the way how we interact with the world has become so much more indirect because of new technologies, where we need to cope with a completely different sensory environment, these types of education are more important than ever.
All right. That was great. I was transported back there. I got cold chills and wet socks. So now let's bring back my good friend, Mitch Mitchell. How you doing, buddy? You got your big boy pants on.
Yeah. So I thought we all agreed on the show subtitles earlier this week. You know, I'm not sure I approved of this one. Anyway, thanks for the pants tip. I'm just glad I put on shorts today. So I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of heads up about the auction. You know, you can always go to bitpal.net/sfwaldorf to find all the latest things. You should go in there to your profile, add your mobile number, because you'll get a text whenever you get outbid. Then you're going to get an alert. I've been getting them constantly, which is actually a good thing because I'm not the one doing the bidding right now. Anyway, I did see earlier we got outbid on the Giant Starry Night play still. So, Heather, go take a bid. Anyway, let's take a look at our live auction items. I'm going to go to the website. First, over here on the left, you'll see that there's a featured item. You can just like go right there to the featured items. These are some of the top things that we picked, you know, and these here are where you're going to find some really choice things, but there's a lot of categories over here. I also then want to go to my live virtual auction because these are the things that are going to end tonight at 10 p.m. All of these go away, right? Whoever has the bid at 10 p.m., they're going to do it. They're going to win it. So, you know, I did want to shoot it to Michael. Let's just take a look at one of these live auction items. Michael, can you pull that up?
I would like that.
Yeah. I think I need to be a little nicer to Joe and Ken. Maybe get a little weekend getaway invitation. Huh, guys? Huh? Huh? So anyway, all the items listed on the site in this category, live virtual auction, are going to close tonight at 10 p.m. So don't call us if you're like, oh, I meant to do it. Can't do anything about that. All the rest of them going to be available till next Wednesday.
Mitch, did you see like a huge surge in bidding when my song was playing? Perhaps did that?
You know, actually, I've had several people contact me to get refunds, but fortunately, I have no idea how to do that using the software.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad to have an impact, and we'll carry on. Thanks a lot, Mitch.
Back to you.
So now we are going to hear from who might be the most famous kindergarten teacher in San Francisco. I actually went to her insanely huge retirement party a few years ago, but I don't think she retired because I still see her around the school all the time. She's working with the nursery students. She cannot be stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare yourself for the pre-recorded story time with the incomparable Monique.
So that is a story about a little birdie. A sweet little birdie, all yellow and black, perched on a mushroom and started to snack. A yummy crumb here, a yummy seed there. He pecked and he nibbled till the mushroom was bare. What shall I do now? What shall I do now? Asked the bird to the air. Oh, 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 answered a little brown mouse, who just then peeked out of his mushroom house. Please sing me a song with a light, lovely tune, till I see the face of the round silver moon. For then off I will scurry to my fairy friend, and together we'll dance until the night's end. So the little bird sang a bright, happy tune, and the mouse scampered off when he saw the full moon. The mouse met his friend, and together they danced, and the moon whispered proudly, I gave them this chance.
All right. That was so good. So any of you kids that are still up and watching this, that was story time, okay? So it's time for bed. Now let's check in with our social media channels. So to do that, we're gonna bring up our chair of the Spring Night Committee, fellow fourth grade parent, and true rock and roller, Jenna Leibowitz. Jenna, how's it going?
Good evening. Hi, Colin. Hi, Mitch.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for the sweet words earlier. Very excited to be here. And I also just want to say a few things before we jump into the social media. Just want to give a big shout out and deep gratitude to the whole Spring Night Committee. This would not be possible if everybody on our team had not stepped up. There's a moment when we weren't even sure what was going to happen, you know, in many of our aspects of our lives, right? And the team just rallied and everybody doubled the meetings, tripled the meetings, and it reached out further to our community and such a wealth of talent that we have, from our faculty to our administration to all our families and of course our children, which are the sparks for us. So thank you. And our team, Felice Beckman, Joe Friend, Maria Furtado, Josephine Mong, the wizards behind the screens, as Mitch mentioned, Michael Slade and Scott Ethersmith, and extra support from Monia Merkel, who created the exquisite Desert Bloom designs, Tara Harris, Max Mitchell, Little Brothers, Bizou Chocolate, Golden Gate Wine Cellars, and inspiration from the start from Stephanie Alston and Erica Saltia Levin. Endless thanks goes to,
Yeah.
of course, Colin Connolly, Mitch Mitchell, Bree Gerard, Emily Hung Daniel, and Corey Powers, along with the faculty again and again, and our administration. Thank you so much. This really would not have been possible. And now we go to the reason we're all here, which is our school community and our families. And we would love for you to take a little snapshot to share with us what's going on for you at this moment while you're watching, and share the photo on Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, whatever you fancy. Just make sure to put the hashtag #SFWaldorfBloom, and we'd love to share it later on. And right now we have a few images just to give you a peek on what's going on in the homes around the Bay Area.
All right.
I'm going to get there. Coming. Here we go. We've got some sweet gift packages with all kinds of contributions from Little Brothers and Bizou Chocolate. There's lots of treasures of what people also beeswax, the fun that's being had. Some of you are enjoying these right now.
That looks great.
And here's some dinner that some of you may have ordered from Little Brothers. They're donating 10% of all orders tonight, not just from our community, but from all the families or any of their customers outside. So thank you to everybody that made a purchase. I hope that you're enjoying it. That looks delicious. I can't wait to eat some later.
That's not how I arranged my dinner tonight. We sort of tore into it like a bunch of jackals. We did not carefully compose our chicken before tearing into it like a hungry jackal.
I smell that in the background of my house, but I'm waiting to enjoy it.
Awesome. So people need to take pictures, tag it with SF Waldorf Bloom, post it. They don't even need to take pictures. They just need to say hi. Tell us how they're doing. Tell us a story.
Exactly.
I want to hear it.
Anything you want to share. Great. Thanks, Colin.
Thanks so much, Dana. That's great. Now we shall turn to who very well might be the tallest kindergarten teacher in the world. I think it's true. Her name's Dagmar. She's here to tell us about the triumphs and challenges of the kindergarten class. Dagmar, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. It's lovely to be here. I feel a little bit odd, I must say, and I wondered whether newscasters feel like that, because I'm just talking to that screen. In any case, you have seen already how it was almost a year ago at the 100 Years of Waldorf celebration. We were huddled together really, really closely. And of course, today we are celebrating our school and our community, and we are in distance with each other in our homes. Nevertheless, we are together and linking arms in spirit. Now that the initial upheaval has actually a little bit subsided and we got used to our confinement with just a little bit more ease, I think it's fair to say that all our kindergarten families have adjusted more or less to it, despite all the challenges they face, being at home in confined spaces often with the children, and of course they have to juggle a workload as well. On our part, we do miss the children terribly. I think it is really, really sad that we cannot be with the children. And sometimes I have these crazy ideas of what one could do in order to have a class, despite the fact that we are so far apart and that we are really just separated from the children, where they need so much this social interaction. And of course, we think of them daily. We, the kindergarten teacher crew, we look so much forward to our handing off our activity packages to the children, because we have a drive-through. And the parents come with their cars, line up in front of the school, and we hand the packages to them. It's lovely to have this communication or this opportunity to be in person with each other. We can exchange some words, but the funnest part is that usually the children are in the car as well, sitting in the back seat, looking at us with expectant eyes and big smiles, because it's so much fun to get a package. And that is really what's so heartwarming to us, because that's real connection at that moment, because Zoom, phone calls, whatever we do does not really cut it. It's really not working very well. From our parents' side, we know that it's so wonderful that they have become homesteaders, believe it or not. They are surrounding the children with real life activities. There's a lot of gardening going on, cooking, recipes are exchanged. Some families have a regular kindergarten soup day, and everybody enjoys it because it is the best soup in town. And everybody ventures into crafts or other things, arts, and so much more. Outings, treasure hunts, bike rides, you name it. The parents are quite creative and resourceful. In that vein, I want to also assure the parents, even though this might be sometimes a bit hard, that these real-time activities give the children a great sense of security, warmth, and they are really wonderful confidence builders for the children. In discussing this evening with my colleagues, we wanted to say a special big thank you to all of our kindergarten families, early childhood families actually, that you are so willing to keep the audio and video for the young children at bay, and really give the children the tools to self-initiate, to be creative, and try their best on their own resources, with their own resources. Of course, we all know how it is when a child says, "I am bored." It really is always a little bit of a stab in our heart. Oh dear, the child is bored, what can we do? But we should look at it also as a gift, because that is the ground where the new ideas can grow and sprout forth. And that is wonderful to see when the children take their own initiative. So we just have to hang in there. We are really thankful in knowing that our children are in the best possible place they can be, safe and secure. Thankful that we are all trying to do the best we can do. There's much gratitude for our capacity to be present with the moment, our ability to enjoy little gifts daily, however small they may be. And of course, not to forget our family support and our friends. I am very, very thankful that we are standing together in community, and that we are finding our resilience together through mutual support. The parents' ongoing support, your ongoing support and trust is a tremendous gift to us. And I believe this will carry us strongly into the future. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all of it.
Thank you so much, Dagmar. We thank you for all of it. Oh my goodness, that was wonderful. So I think a nice seg. When I think of kindergarten, I think of bread days, and I think that lesson transferred over even year after year. So we have a video from a high school student, Olivia Hofsis, as she is going to share with us a little bread improvising. Let's see that clip. All right. I love baking bread. I should have been a Waldorf kid, man. Um, so my favorite part of every spring night is always the Fun to Need challenge. The auctions, the live auction part is fun, but I always kind of mess that up, and Mitch gets mad at me. So I'm a little shy of that. But and they're so winner take all. So I like Fun to Need because the whole community can participate. It's always for such a great cause. So this year, to talk about our Fun to Need, we have Geeta Harris Newton.
Hi,
Geeta.
everybody. Hi. So I'm here to talk about the Fund to Need this year. And this year we actually have a double Fund to Need. So both for the Kimball Fund for Equity Inclusion, as well as for an emergency fund for current families in need. So first, let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Geeta. I have 3 children at the school. I have 2 ninth graders, Anala and DV, and I have a 6th grader, Kainoa, all of who have been at the school since kindergarten. So I want to tell you about our double Fund to Need this year. The first piece is for the Kimball Fund for Equity and Inclusion. So what is that? The purpose of this fund is to increase equity and inclusivity in our school community and make the San Francisco Waldorf School accessible to diverse families who would otherwise not be able to afford the tuition and expenses of our school. The board created an endowed fund last year so that we can have a program that lasts in perpetuity. So in other words, there's an endowment, a pot of money that we're trying to add to, and every year the interest off of that endowed fund goes directly to supporting families with scholarships for equity and inclusion. So last year, the board created this fund. It took half of the proceeds from the Fund to Need last year to seed the fund, along with a gift from the 8th grade class to seed the fund. We've since also received a grant from the Kimball Foundation, and our fund is currently at, I'm super happy to say, $189,000. We're trying to add to it today.
Nice.
What happens with our with what we raise tonight for this fund, half of it will go towards the endowed program, and half will go to supporting our families now who receive more immediate grants from the fund. So let me give you a little bit of a history, because many of you have probably heard about the Kitch Scholarship Program in the high school, and that is related here. So the Kitch Scholarship Program is a full scholarship program at the high school that has been in place since about 2006, and it funds full scholarships for about 2 to 5 students per grade in the high school. That program was started by a generous donation of $1 million a number of years ago. And a couple years ago, the funding for that program ran out. The school has been able to continue the program at a slightly smaller scale, but part of the reason for creating the Kimball Fund for Equity and Inclusion is to make sure that we can sustain this program going forward. So in addition to those full high school scholarships, in recent years, we've also been able to expand the program to include partial scholarships for families from nursery through 8th grade. We currently have about 15 families in the school, and we really want who are beneficiaries of scholarships of this equity and inclusion program, and we want to be able to expand that. So through the Fund to Need tonight, we're asking you to do what you can to contribute, whether that's $50, whether that's $50,000, to help us support this program, increase equity and inclusivity in our community, make sure that our school community reflects the broader San Francisco community, and make sure that we can bring in families who want to be here. That's the first part of our Fund to Need, our double Fund to Need this year. The first $50,000 that we raise will go towards that program. Everything we raise past that will go to an emergency fund that we're creating now to immediately help current families who are in need of tuition assistance because of the coronavirus crisis. So again, the first portion of our Fund to Need goes towards the Equity and Inclusion Fund, but the second portion, everything that we raise over $50,000, goes immediately to helping families with their tuition now who are impacted by our current crisis. So with that, I'll turn it back over, but I'll just encourage you to please consider contributing what you can. For some of you, that might not be anything this time. For some of you, it might be a small contribution like $25, $50. Everything's appreciated. For some of you, it might be something much more significant. Maybe that's $50,000. Maybe that's more, but we appreciate anything you can do. So thanks, and I hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Thanks so much, Gita. It was wonderful. So at Waldorf, we know that art is integrated into almost every subject to study, and it results in some truly stunning and impressive works. So we're going to give you a quick look at some incredible art created by our students. Let's see that.
A poem is happiness. A poem is anger. A poem is sadness. A poem is expression. A poem is nothing. A poem is anything. It is whatever you want, whether it makes you happy or not. You might make someone happy, or maybe yourself. You might save someone by showing them they are not alone.
Of all the facets humanity is built upon, our most vital unspoken gift is language.
To speak, to sing, to read and write and learn a language beyond your own is an extraordinary, life-altering experience.
All right. Thank you so much. So now we're going to check back in with my good friend, Mitch Mitchell. How's it going, buddy? You having fun?
I'm having a great time. And we've got some good news to report. During that little interlude and after Gita's great appeal, we received a very generous gift of $25,000
Get out.
to match the fund for the Gimbal Fund, right? So that means we're way over halfway. Let's just go check this here, featured items, and you'll see we're already at $33,000. So
nice.
We already need like 16.7. Look at that math in the
Nothing.
16.7, and then we can start raising for our emergency tuition assistance. So I also want to let you know that over here, once you click on our Nautilus, if you scroll up here a little bit, you see this other. If you click other, that let you enter any amount you want. And I checked, it takes lots of zeros. So if you're having any issues, you can email springnight@sfwaldorf.org. Back to you, Colin.
That is incredible. I can't believe it. We're almost there. So amazing. Now we are going to take a quick look at a fellow ukulele player and a great singer. She's a proud graduate from Waldorf High, class of 2015. Emma Stearns is going to sing us Let It Be. Let's take a look at Emma. Right. How dare she be better at ukulele and be a better singer than me tonight, of all nights? Nice seg from that. We are going to now invite some members of our board to join us tonight for some exciting news. We have current board president Jim Stearns, father to the ukulele master we just watched, and joining him from her cactus-infested Old West land is Laura Ambrosino. How's it going? Jim and Laura, how are you guys holding up?
Great.
We're holding up.
Overwhelming, Laura.
I just want to say, I don't know if it's my turn first, but first of all, that I really miss all you guys. This is one of my favorite nights of the year, and to just be hanging out and talking and meeting people I've known for so many years. I just want to say, my heart goes out to everyone tonight. And I'm so grateful, as always, for the education that my daughter and son got here. And so, I have so much gratitude for all the teachers. And I just want to, these times like this has been very tough times to be on the board. And you find out the quality of your leadership and the strength of your community in these times. And I want to single out Craig, Appel, and Deepa and Paula as three people that have just worked overtime for the last 6 weeks to not just make a transition in the entire way that we teach our children overnight, but to try to preserve as much of Waldorf spirit in that education as they possibly can. And every faculty member, I want you to know that you are seen and appreciated, and how difficult a task it is, especially as you get down to the younger grades, to try to create a Waldorf experience in these times. And all of your efforts are so deeply appreciated. I have to report tonight, this is my last spring night as president of the board. So unfortunately, I really look forward to handing out the diplomas. That's the best perk of being the president of the board, is to shake the hand of every high school senior. Hopefully we will be able to do something like that. And I do believe that the strength of our community is so deep, and it's reflected tonight in all of you, all the work that's been done for this, all the bids, all the contributions that people are going to make tonight. That is what is going to bring us through this moment and get us out to the other side. And gratefully, very gratefully for me, that I am handing off the baton to an extremely talented human being, Laura Ambrosino. Many of you probably know her from the Fairy Walk. She represents a little bit different side of the spectrum of me. My kids are both in college doing distance learning at home right now. And so I don't hang around the grade school quite as much. But those of you in the grade school know Laura. Laura's also been the chair of our finance committee and done a great job shepherding us through that. So Laura, thank you so much for taking on this responsibility. And I just want to say, I hope to see you guys all around soon.
Yay.
Thank you, Jim. I must say, I didn't actually know that handing out the diplomas was a perk being in the grade school. So I hope that perhaps if you don't get a chance to do it this year, next year we can do it together. So I am honored to take over as the board chair and succeed a venerable group of prior chairs, including yourself, Jim. I want to thank you for your leadership. And I did look up venerable because we had a conversation about this, and the concise definition is, I'm going to read it, accorded a great deal of respect, especially because of age, wisdom, wait a minute, wisdom or character. So whichever you feel the best applies. I do say it with the best of intentions. So fellow parents, these are indeed very interesting times. And more than ever, our community needs each other. And we all are the source of strength to finding normalcy and comfort for our children. And in the meantime, as a parent of 2 kids in the 3rd grade and the kindergarten, which may be still up in the other room, having a peek at the screen, I know I live the struggle every day. But more than ever, we parents and the board and the administration and our teachers face, to say the least, unimagined challenges in the weeks, months, and perhaps the years ahead. We don't really know how this is going to transform how we receive our education. And more than ever, I know that we all will face them with flexibility, open hearts and minds, and we'll all strive to deliver together a best-in-class education, no matter what the circumstances bring to us. The board is here for all of us, our community. We are here for you to support and lead with you through this uncharted future. Please do reach out to us with your ideas, suggestions, and feedback, as well as to Deepa, Paula, and Craig. And we do actually have an email, board@sfwaldorf.org, if you would like to contact us. So I am grateful for your listening and watching. And now back to Colin, I believe, with more magic.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations. Exciting surprise reveal. No one expected it. All right, so if any of you at home are like me, you've been spending the last 6 weeks kind of desperately hoarding those last Girl Scout cookies you may have been able to purchase right before they shut the city down. But I imagine that most of you are not like me, and you are normal, healthy people, and you've been spending this time doing some wonderful things. And in fact, I know you've been doing some wonderful things because we've gotten a lot of pictures sent in. It's been amazing to see these. So we are going to show you a clip of some of the pictures that you sent in and what's been happening during this shelter-in-place order. Let's roll that.
I'm Gianna, and this is my sister Bella, and we're going to play Hallelujah by Lindsay Sterling.
Yeah. I knew that one was going to get me a little bit, and it did. Now we are going to learn about our international sister school in Puebla, Mexico, Escuela Raíces. And to do that, we have Joan Calderera and director of the Escuela, Lenya Bloom. Come on while we take a look at your school, and we'll bring you up as well.
Hello.
Hi, Joan. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I'm just going to take you on a brief little trip to the past. I think my husband, John, and I were led to San Francisco Waldorf School by our daughter, Lenya, who, as the school opened, was not yet born. We enrolled our 3-year-old son in the beautiful new kindergarten on Arguello Boulevard, just as the Waldorf world celebrated 60 years of existence. Soon, Lenya arrived, and she slept in the sturdy doll cradle under a pink canopy in Monique's kindergarten, while I attended study groups and meetings and began my love affair with Waldorf education and our wonderful school. I could not have imagined then that that sweet, curly-haired baby would one day be living in Mexico, raising a family there, and helping to found another Waldorf school, the one you just saw in the video, Escuela Raíces, in Cholula, Mexico. There she is, as if carrying a torch that I've passed on, speaking on radio and TV, answering questions about anthroposophy and pedagogy that would probably leave me stammering. Her daughter, Camille, is in the 3rd grade, and Madeline in the kindergarten. They are among the pioneering students. And I have been honored to visit the school and work with the teachers and the board in a role that they have created for me called Strategic Advisor. And so in this way, we become a family with 3 generations of active participants in Waldorf education. San Francisco Waldorf School and Escuela Raíces are now sister schools with pen pals in the 4th grade and nursery parents exchanging gifts with one another. And of course, there are all of you who have helped support the school from, well, there was a winter fair when many of you stopped by the table we had, and at last year's spring night, and now this year as well. You're supporting both this lovely initiative and our big sister school right here in San Francisco, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm also proud to be part of both of these schools, and also proud of Lenya, who's here tonight. So I'll turn it over to her. Hi, Lane.
Hi, Mom. If I wasn't already crying from the beautiful Alleluia, that one did it. Buenas noches para todos y todas. I'm going to give you just a brief overview of what our school is like, but you can also follow Escuela Raíces on any social media. We have Twitter, we have Instagram. We're all young people running it. I'm still young. So Escuela Raíces is a Waldorf school. It was founded 5 years ago, really with the purpose of breaking educational paradigms here in Puebla. Along with many other mothers, there wasn't a right fit for our children and for our families. It is the only school in the state of Puebla, the only Waldorf school, in the state of Puebla, a state where the economic and quality gap between private schools and public schools is just extraordinarily enormous. So We take our vocation for social renewal really, really seriously and are the only private independent school where more than half of the student body receives tuition reduction. This works through the generous and courageous nature of the families who have helped found the school and joined in these early years, striving really together to embrace our neighbors and create a thoroughly diverse community. Just as it's a priority for the San Francisco Waldorf School, it is for us too. And it is the values that we all share here tonight, those that uphold Waldorf education, that make this really possible. Like other Waldorf schools around the world, we are struggling right now to ensure our existence through the upcoming months. So this year, your thoughtful donations will help us keep our 21 teachers employed and protected. And also, it helps us to keep children in this quality education and in this beautiful school that we've worked so hard to build. Children who would otherwise be in a very weak and very traditional public school. So I'm here tonight to invite you to stretch your hand across the border and join hands with the other parents at Escuela Raíces who are also fighting to keep our little school alive. Thank you so much for listening. Muchas gracias de corazón. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Lenia. Thank you so much, Joan.
Un árbol de pomarosa de compañía dichosa se siente protegido por el gnomo camino. Acostado en la raíz del árbol, duerme el gnomo valiente de los frutos olorosos. A veces diligente, a veces perezoso para despertar, pero siempre contento al abrir los ojos y escuchar el canto de su amigo el pájaro. Tu, 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 tu. Tu, 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 tu. De un brinquito de la cama se levanta y con alegría canta. Jaboncito, jaboncito, burbujas de jabón.
All right. Thank you so much. That was incredible to hear about. So we all know that the Waldorf kindergarten program is an incredibly special program, and it's one of the things that helps bring families actually into our community. I know that's how it worked for my family in particular. So we wanted to show you guys a really nice look that's been put together of the Waldorf kindergarten program. Can we please roll?
I came to the open house without my husband, and I called him from outside after it was done, and I said, yeah, we're done. Like I said, it was kind of the school I wish I went to when I was young.
Elliot loves to come to school. He can't wait to go to school. First out of bed.
A forest day and time in nature is the beginning kind of a deep relationship with nature and a caring and an interest and a curiosity. And so we work with joy and wonder at this age.
Can you let me go by?
The way he treats others, and I'm starting to see empathy and compassion in his caringness for the world around him and for his peers. So I'm very proud of him, and I feel like that is testament to the curriculum here at the school.
Of course, we've probably all heard the studies about nature being very calming, simply the color green being very calming, and we see that effect on the children. So the walk back to school, the children are very relaxed and at peace, and we believe this kind of carries them throughout the rest of their week.
Young children live so much in their imagination. They're very keen observers. They notice everything around them, and then they want to test it out. So our classroom is a little bit like a lab.
In playtime, children really can be totally engaged with their own ideas and execute them. That is the first step in that independent thinking process.
kindergarten, we work on building early literacy skills. So storytelling, every day we tell stories from memory, and these stories have very rich vocabulary and sentence structure, so they build their vocabulary.
They figure out what these things mean by creating their own pictures of the stories.
They love to do meaningful work. It speaks to their thinking. They see what is the sequence of cleaning up the table or cleaning up the dishes, and it gives them such sense of confidence to be able to work on real tasks.
Sweeping now became a family thing to do instead of mom on a Saturday morning. And work became a really positive word in our house.
I'll show you.
When we look at the kindergarten children, they are often so filled with initiative because there is basically nothing they cannot do. They volunteer for that and they say, I can do that, I want to do that. And hopefully that is something that leads them through life.
For us, it was the self-confidence that she had. It was a really big deal for us because she'd always been sort of quieter and definitely more introspective. And by the second year, I mean, she was ready to rule the roost.
Children are really allowed to be children. Our program is developmentally based, which is such a gift for children to learn things when they're ready to learn.
Every day I feel grateful that I found the school.
The teachers were so accessible. I could ask about just about anything, and for our family, it's been a true gift.
I love that one. All right. How are you guys doing out there? We're getting through this. All right. So it's time to maybe get up out of our chairs a little bit, maybe move around a little bit. Like, I pretty much do conference calls for a living, so I've been training for sitting in place and talking to no one for a long time, my whole career. But you are normal, healthy people, so you probably want to get up. So to help you do that, we're going to bring up Astrid Tiersch. Are you here? You're going to help us out, get us moving a little bit, please.
I'm gonna do something.
Well, hello, dear San Francisco Waldorf School community. What a special celebration. And no celebration is really complete without you with me. So wherever you are, wherever you sit in your most favorite place, chair, sofa, on the floor, we all get up and let's do some you with me. And tonight, I thought that we do this beautiful motto that we have for our school: know yourself, know the world, which comes really from ancient Greece. It was inscribed in Delphi at the temple, and in it is this beautiful secret that real health, soul health, and a healthy human being is complete when in our soul we feel that we can develop, that we know ourselves, but that we also have this interest towards the world in knowing the world. And so we start off doing this in You With Me, and since nobody of us has a big hall, but we just have our little spaces, we do the gestures together. And then we do the very famous hallelujah, which is the first word that was done in You With Me. And I will lead you through that too. So I will invite you to get up and move your chair. And I will go a little bit back so that you see me. Well, maybe I have to go a little bit further. All right. So, know yourself. Let's do this first. We have, for know, we do N. So, know yourself. Now we do that one more time. So the N then the ooh towards us, and then the a. Here we go. Know yourself. And then we have know the world. So with the know yourself, we came towards us, within ourselves, and now we go out of ourselves. That we do again, N for know the world. We do L and end in D. That we go all the way out towards the world. So let's do know the world one more time. Know the world. Good. And now we do both. Know yourself, know the world. And please, dear children and dear students who do eurythmy all the time, you can be great leaders for your families at home. And let's all do it so that we move it out into the ether. Here we go. Know yourself. Know the world. Good. All right. Great. I just imagined you all doing it. It must be wonderful. So now we do hallelujah. I lead once through so that you know what we do, and then we do it once silently. And the hallelujah, we do each sound, the H in the beginning, then the A, then the L. And whenever the L comes, the 2 times in the word, there is a dynamic that happens. There is a multiple time that the L appears. You will see that when I lead you. And with it, we can think that we purify ourselves of everything that is always in the way to really see what is most important. And what unites all of us here at the San Francisco Waldorf School is really the interest and the love for our children, for all our students. So the hallelujah begins. Let's start from here, and you can feel your heart also in this reverent gesture. So we start with ha, ha, into ah, and then descended to the earth. And now we have 7 L's from the smallest. Everyone is a little bigger. And then we pause for a moment in the A and feel the cross of our arms. And now follow 3 big L's. We go all the way into the surrounding. And now we begin the ooh from our feet. Lead it all the way up. And the ooh is we're really narrow from the feet through the fingertips. We unite with eternity both ways. And then we have yee. You do that one more time. So go to the center. Yee. Ah. And then there's a silent H. Ha. Which we bring down and give it back to the earth. And then we come back to our center. So, dear community, we do it once, and I will not say anything and to it so that it is done silently. And we can be so grateful that in our education we have eurythmy, which is so much working with the health and the growth of our inner being, of our soul life. All right. All right. Now it's time to sit down again in your most comfortable position and chair and watch the rest of our evening. And back to you, Colin. Thank you.
Thanks, Astrid. All right. So for you kids, I know there's probably not many of you out there, but if you're still awake, this is it. This is your last story. And after this, you brush your teeth and you put yourself to bed. Here is Monique performing Hoppy Top's Wedding.
Hoppy Top the frog came hopping, hopping along. On a big green leaf he sat and sang his song. Quack, 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 quack. By the way, this is the way they quack in Europe. I know in America they quack differently. Today I shall marry beneath the big oak. Come one, come all, friends from far and wide, come, come, and follow me side by side. Hop, oh, hop, oh, hop, oh, hop. The frog hopped down from the green leaf top. Slow pace the snail come first, with his house on his back, followed by Dot the ladybug in elegant black. Then came Fluffy the rabbit, with his tail all white. Then joined O the owl, who hoots in the night. Munchie the chipmunk rushed along so gay, while Speedy the field mouse came hurrying, scurrying right out of the hay. So Hoppy Top the frog, Slow Pace the snail, Dot the ladybug, Fluffy the rabbit, O the owl, Munchie the chipmunk, and Speedy the field mouse. Together they went to the big oak tree, where Hoppy Top the frog married his froggy wife. Oh, oh, what a ceremony! They feasted, they danced, and sang with delight, until in the moonshine, oh, the owl wished everyone good night.
All right. Now for some perspective on the grade school, we're going to bring up first grade teacher Susan Bolick. Susan, I'm sorry you have to follow Hoppy Top, but we're happy to have you here. You got your Saturday glasses on?
That's right. I'm ready to go. So, what if you don't like a child in your class? Colin, as odd as that sounds, this is the number 4 of 5 most frequent questions that people ask me on tours or if they don't know much about Waldorf education. Preceded, of course, by number 1, Waldorf as in the hotel? No. Number 2, Waldorf as in the salad? No, but I've tried it and it's equally as good. Number 3, oh, Waldorf, Montessori, right? Wrong again. So this question number 4 about liking the child is always asked, and it begs another question. What kind of school did this person go to? Because truly, this question does not live in the hearts, minds, and in the deeds of your dear grade school teachers and staff. Instead, echoing down the hall, you'll often hear teachers checking in on other people's kids. How's that little one who fell in the yard yesterday? Or you'll see teachers huddled around the coffee pot in the kitchen singing into someone's phone so that they can bring a song that children really love at that age. Now, inevitably, in the faculty lounge, you'll hear the lament, "That's it, the play's over, it's canceled," which is always met. I promise you, dear children, it's always met with, "Don't worry, you have to have a terrible rehearsal in order to have a terrific performance." You see, Waldorf education, this whole community is imbued with not just liking children, but loving them, warts and all. Not giving them a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but considering each person's humanity. From the rascals, and you know who you are, to those students who are determined to take over as the class teacher. So even though our halls are silent and the coffee pot empty, the spirit of collaboration and the goodness of humanity in this community has revealed itself in abundance, especially in these past 6 weeks. And every phone call, postcard, and letter, and every care package and carefully crafted email, in every live video or audio conference call, and in every recorded song, poem, and even voicemail. From the start, our priority has been what can and will we do to stay connected? Our dear grade school community, children, parents, teachers, and staff have stretched imaginations, discovered newfound capacities, and certainly exercised tremendous humor to keep our little corner of the world vibrant as well. We've asked the really deep questions, not just, Deepa, is this thing on? But what will be the lasting effect of this pandemic? And we've encouraged each other to be right where we are also, not just unmute yourself, Miss Nemitz, but also, it's so nice to see you here in this Zoom conference. We're here for you. And how lovely to meet your cat. So even though there are no tours on campus right now, I still think of this fourth question. Is what we do about liking a child? No, it's about loving the children and the parents too. Is what we do about the situation what we like to do right now? No, but we have incredible integrity as a community, and we're rising above these obstacles together. So on behalf of the grade school, I want to thank all the parents and all the children for their dedication to our school. You've really shown yourselves in the way that you've stepped forth by flexible thinking and by taking interest in continued learning and by being socially and emotionally available and honest in these peculiar times, whatever your station is. You've really been the epitome of all that is good and truth and beauty in the world. We miss you and we can't wait to get back together and see you in person, and we hope it's much, much sooner than later. So I hope that answers question number 4 that I wanted to bring to you tonight. Oh, you asked what's question number 5? Do Waldorf kids ever learn to read? Okay, don't get me started about that one. Bye everyone, love you, miss you, be well.
The answer is barely. Thank you so much, Susan. Have a good night.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you for all your love and support.
大家唔該晒。
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Grazie infinite per il vostro prezioso sostegno in questi tempi difficili.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, chers parents.
どうもありがとう。
Ganz herzlichen Dank.
Thank you.
Kumusta na kayo ang mga estudyante? This is Carl. I just wanted to thank you all for hanging in there. So, salamat.
Thank you.
Garev Mila Mahagut.
Thank you.
All right. Quick thank you from our staff. That was great. All right, we're going to head back to my good friend, Mitch Mitchell, to see what kind of craziness is going on with the auction. Mitch, you might be muted. Just kind of how I like you, but it is the auction tonight, so take it away.
Well, you know what, Colin? I had to get back in shorts. These lights are just too hot. I don't know how they do it online.
What do you do? Are you in a basement somewhere? Is it cold?
I wish it were cold, man. It is hot out here. I'm in Pleasant Hill. It was like 95 degrees today. Anyway, business up top, party down below, you know? Anyway, I wanted to give everybody a quick update on the auction. I don't know if you've been checking in. Our fund and need, we blew past our $50,000 goal for the Kimball Fund. And so now we're raising money for our families in the emergency fund. So I am excited about that. We'll check back in on that shortly. First, I want to point out about the live auctions. They're going to end at 10. And if you haven't taken a look, go over there now and take a look. Michael, let's roll that video on the butterfly quilt.
Kira was a devoted SF Waldorf parent, visiting K3 every year after her son moved into the grades. It is with deep gratitude and joy that K3 offers this exquisite quilt in honor of beloved Kira, who crossed into the spiritual world in December of 2018, and watches over us still. Lorraine, a friend of Kira's, has been actively quilting as a hobby for 10 years after learning to sew as a child from her mother. She's an active member of the Modern Quilt Guild, the San Francisco Quilt Guild, and Be Modern San Francisco. She is especially fond of improv art quilts and utilizing recycled and reusable fabrics and clothing. Follow Lorraine on Instagram at Quilting in the Fog, or visit her website, quiltinginthefog.com.
That was kind of fun. That is a wonderfully beautiful quilt that really captures Kira's spirit. I am going to throw it back to you, Colin, because just like most spring nights, we're running a little behind.
Quite typical. I'm so excited how well the Fund and Need and the auction are doing. Please go online, bid, look, go crazy. All right, next we are going to look at part 2 of the artwork collage that our students have put together for us. It's a fun new clip. Let's roll that and see.
Fairyland by Prema Wishart. We flutter our wings, feel the air between them. The wind rustles through our long hair. Our dainty feet barely touch the earth. We are creatures of the sky. We float, we fly. We dance with the stars, we flit among them. Their warm, sparkling light illuminates us. We rest on the flowers, one petal our bed, another a blanket, and there we dream. We dream of the land, of walking, of running, of eating bread. We dream of being human.
All right. Next, we are going to throw it over to the parent voted most likely to own 10 different tie-dye jumpsuits. It's Jenna Leibowitz with the social media update. Jenna, what's going on that fancy computer of yours?
Purely for production purposes. And also production purposes, we're going to keep this succinct because we're going to keep everybody on schedule. We have an after party to go to. Stick around.
Yeah.
We want to feature what our families are doing and the images they're sharing. There's some sweet images. Here's a picture we're going to lead to with our, the gift packages are coming with beeswax, and then people are also adding some other treasures from their homes, which is really fun to see what people are adding. And also our faculty is getting into it and inspiring us with their desert blooms.
That's pro level. Are those little cloves stuck in there?
Yeah. See the families gathering, which is really fun. That's what we hope that, especially if you have older children, that you're enjoying this whole experience together. And here we go. We have even outdoors. Take all your treasures, indoors, outdoors. The weather's been so beautiful. Hope you're enjoying it. And also continue to send us images. We're not going to post many more tonight because we want to keep the program going. But we would love to see the other images tagged, hashtag SF Waldorf Bloom, and share with your friends in our community and images that we can enjoy in the future. So thanks, everybody. Hope you're having a great time. Back to you, Colin.
Thanks, Jenna. Have a great night. These are great to see. All right, next we are going to hear from some of the students from the high school. They are insanely articulate. They are going to tell us a little bit about their Waldorf experience and what the school has meant to them. Let's have a talk with them.
I definitely remember the environment of the classrooms. It's so warm and just very familiar feeling, and you felt a sense of protection.
And when it was your birthday, you would get this beautiful crown, and your friends would stand around you as if you were, riding in on a chariot.
On these magical hikes through forests and canyons and riverbeds. And
having costumes and putting together all the different scenes and learning lines and rehearsing.
We went river rafting and backpacking in the Marble Mountains, and it was just such a magical experience.
It's such a rounded education in the sense that it incorporates all different aspects of learning, physical, emotional, academic, of course. And I feel that it has taught me to think for myself.
Waldorf has enabled me to grow very much as an individual, and it's really nurtured me, and it's let me be myself and kind of find my own path. Through guidance, very, very gentle guidance from the teachers.
Very hands-on, and I feel like the students come to an understanding of the subject on their own. It's a lot more meaningful because you really did the work to get there.
Waldorf education does prepare you for a lot of independent learning in the sense that they'll give you a project. This is especially in physics, where part of you learning physics is actually figuring out how to do this project.
To think deeply and to think about not just one side of things.
If there's one thing that I love about school, it's definitely the arts. It's because I found out that I can create something, and I can create beautiful things and things that express, feelings, emotions, and humanity and the world in ways that words can't always express them.
I think I've learned a lot more to take time for myself and to recognize when I need time and when I need an extension on a piece of homework, and that it's okay to ask for that extension. There are people around you who want to support you, who want you to succeed, and that it's not you against the world.
For now, my plan is to go to college to study art, actually.
I am planning on majoring in neuroscience next year at Scripps College in Claremont. I'm really excited.
I plan on going to the local community college and for 2 years, getting credits, and then I am going to transfer to either a UC or a CSU.
So I have been accepted to a lot of really good colleges that I'm really excited to commit to one.
Going to Waldorf school has taught me how to learn, which is a quality that I know that sometimes people take longer in their life to learn. And I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to learn that up until high school. And it makes me feel like no matter what challenges I face in college or other learning environments, that I can take them on because I learned how to learn.
I think one thing that's sort of helping me make the decision to take a gap year and just sort of dive into it is, I guess it goes all the way back to early childhood, where they took us out and they let us play in the mud. You know, they took us into ravines and creek beds and they took us off the trail. This sort of sense of adventure and, you know, you can get through it. You know, there's always going to be a way. That's, I guess, underlying that's stuck with me and it's carried through.
Now that I'm leaving high school, I still feel like I have these resources, these people to turn to. Like if I ever do have a question or I need help with something, I feel like I could still turn to any one of my teachers for help.
Many teachers told me, you know, that I needed to make sure that I was being true to myself. And I think that is something that I will carry with me on in life, because it's such an important thing to have with you.
I think I am excited for that independence to come, and I'm nervous that I won't be able to handle it. But I think I'll stumble a bit, and then I'll get up on my feet and I'll figure it out.
That's exactly how I talked when I was in high school. We are now going to go to an actual high school teacher, molder of minds, Gil Griffin, teacher of humanities. How's it going, Gil?
It's going great, Colin, and I'd like to greet everyone in a language that hasn't been heard tonight, which is Aloha Ahi Ahi in Olelo, Hawaii. Can't
Nice.
help it. I am the Pacific Rim main lesson teacher. And one of the things that we did that I'm really excited about in high school is that, think about this, everybody. We went in about 4 or 5 days going from brick and mortar to going into the distance learning mode. That is really sensational. Only 4 days to get us back up and running. So I want to thank everybody who has been so supportive of us. One of the things that we get to do with distance learning is being very innovative. I'd like to share with you something that I was able to do with the kids in Pacific Rim main lesson, which was to bring the movies to them. I've started a Pacific Rim film club, and we watched the film tonight, Princess Kaiulani, using a little magic of Zoom and, of course, my Amazon Prime account. So anyway, I want to share with you, though, something, a lot of fun that I came up with tonight. So people of a certain age, you remember David Letterman, and Late Night with David Letterman was a staple of our coming of age in the 80s and 90s. So I have prepared tonight a top 10 best things about being a Waldorf teacher and being in distance learning mode. The top 10 list from right here, the home office in South San Francisco. Number 10 is this one. You can now live every teacher's dream and put on mute the chattiest kid in class. That's number 10. Number 9 is those with the gallery view or using the gallery view. You can now get nostalgic and you can reminisce about the days of when it was like when you saw the opening of the Brady Bunch. Okay, now, number 8 is that shooting from the waist up when you're doing the distance learning module allows everybody to deliver classes with the option of wearing sweatpants, gym shorts, or boxer briefs from the waist down. Okay, number 7 is this: having the ability to conduct reading quizzes like an old school game show host. That's been a lot of fun. Number 6, distance learning on video also allows teachers impromptu opportunities to give students tours like your walk-in closet or maybe the inside of your refrigerator. Okay, number 5, about the best things about distance learning. Now, you can see how colorful, cool, and creative the kids' rooms are, and you get to dream about what it was like or what it might be like to live rent-free with food included here in the San Francisco Bay Area, something pretty much impossible to do if you're an adult. Number 4, you don't have to tell your spouse or your partner how your class day went, because now they're forced to hear it, every single second of it. Okay. Yes. Number 3 of the best or the top 10 things of distance learning: no more chalk dust on my shirt and pants. How about that? Number 2 in the top 10, on rare occasions in which we get to see each other, when you get to see teaching colleagues, now we can greet each other and we can be vigilante heroes together wearing our masks and gloves. We can rock that look and it looks sensational. Now, drum roll please at home. If you have a surface to drum on, the number one reason, the number one best thing about distance learning mode being a Waldorf teacher is you get to hear the cacophonic, chaotic, and what did I say?
In Hawaiian. Say
Yes,
cacophony in Hawaiian.
Yeah, I'd love to. All right, the cacophonous, chaotic chorus of everyone being out of sync in Zoom as we're reciting the morning verse when we start main lesson. So those are the top 10 things about distance learning. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Also, I want to thank everybody for the care package, because look at this. It is Pinot Noir time for me, and I'm going to send it back to Colin. Thank you very much. Mahalo.
Mahalo. And your wine may have been a bit nicer than my bottle of wine, so enjoy that. And I actually rode by the high school the other day. It looked like there was a giant construction site going on there or something. I don't know what that was about. So now we are going to take another quick look at what some of our families have been doing during shelter in place. They've been up to a lot of good stuff. Let's see the clip.
Sometimes when I'm stuck inside, I feel my freedoms defied. This notion's not true, it's just a cue to let my thoughts wander outside.
Trees are a gift, so beautiful to look at, so peaceful to sit under, so relaxing with a book, so kind. Trees give us the breath of life. They bend down for little kids to climb on. Why then, when I tried to climb them, did I always fall off?
Treehouse by Shel Silverstein. A treehouse, a free house, a secret you and me house. A high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. A street house, a neat house. Be sure and wipe your feet house. It's not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house.
All right, that is good motivation for me to start doing something better with my time. Now we are going to hear from a very funny lady. She is going to talk about her friend, SF Waldorf alum Dan Hoyle. Dan Hoyle can't be here today, but his friend Sheila is going to talk about him. He is a performer and comedian. He's got a one-man show called Border People. Let's meet Sheila.
Hi y'all, it's me, Sheila. I'm a friend of Dan Hoyle's who went to Waldorf for a number of years. They really do a lot. They have like 3 or 4 years of kindergarten. You know, they just keep going and going. You know, they're like, oh, you can have some more snacks, have some more, you know, bread and honey, whatever. I don't know. I guess they have a lot of stories to tell. But I just want to say he loved Waldorf. He really appreciated all the different things they did. I mean, look, okay. He still has this, okay? That's his gnome. For when he was like, I don't even know when they make this, like 3rd grade, 2nd grade. I mean, to be honest, he probably got a lot of help on it from Miss Gower. That was his teacher at the time, he told me. She really helped him a lot of things. But yeah, he just really loved the place, and he just heard y'all doing a little event, and he was kind of busy, but he just want to say that bless you, bless all your hearts, you know? Because, I mean, look at this little guy. I mean, I think he's cute. Don't you think so? I think it's cute. I think we need more of this. I think we need a little more gnomes. You know what I mean? Why don't everyone just have a little gnome? You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, he just still brings those lessons into his daily life. You know, I mean, look, he's still got a record player. You know, oh, sorry. He has a TV. Shh, don't tell him what he got. It was a long time. He didn't have one for like 35 years. He finally I said, Dan, you can go, they're like $200. Just go buy yourself a TV. No one's going to know. Rudolph's not going to come down and strike you down. It's okay. So he got a TV and he sometimes watches it. But anyways, he just want to let you know, bless y'all. Have a great little party or whatnot, you know. Drink all the apple juice and, you know, I don't know what y'all eating, but I'm sure it's like really healthy and really homemade and, you know, probably pretty German, you know, maybe it's like spreckles or probably not cakes, but like bread, just a lot of bread with like a lot of wheat in it, a lot of wheat inside the bread. And that's beautiful. That's really cute. So once again, just bless y'all and Dan sending his love.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Sheila. I mean, we are going to go right into another thank you from our faculty.
Thank you und herzlichen Dank.
Hi everyone. Thank you so very much. Tack Paulette.
Dankeschön.
Asante sana.
Dziękuję.
Baika.
Muito obrigado.
To everyone at the San Francisco Waldorf School, thank you.
ありがとうございます。
Diolch yn fawr.
Akon.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για τα παιδιά σας.
Thank you for your support of the San Francisco Waldorf School.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Muito obrigada.
For your support of the San Francisco Waldorf School. Thank you.
Vergelt's Gott. Dankeschön. Merci.
Thank you, dear parents, for being with us through this whole strange journey.
Dankjewel. Thank you.
Arigato. I miss you, everybody.
Parents, thank you so much for all that you do and all the ways in which you support Waldorf education. And thank you most of all for sending your awesome kids to our school. Thank you.
Mahalo. Maruru.
Tusen tack.
You all give so much, but I want to thank you for these two most wonderful gifts. First of all, your faith in Waldorf education, and secondly, entrusting your precious children to us. Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank you.
All right, they said it. Folks, we're winding down, but we're not done yet. I need another update from my partner in crime, Mitch Mitchell. How's it going?
It's going great. We are currently, looks like 84,350 on the funded need, so we're well into helping families with some emergency tuition funds. Also, this is the last update you're going to hear from me tonight. So get on there, bid up the live items, whatever you want, you better go get it. And the funded need and all of the other items that aren't in the live area are going to be open until Wednesday. So tell all your friends. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that for you. I know that's a hard subject, but everybody else out there, tell all your friends.
I was just trying to be nice to you by the end of this thing.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so things didn't go exactly as I wanted them to. That's fine. So thank you, Mitch. It has been an incredible night for the school. It's been an incredible night for me. We all know how the school comes together through tough times. Last year, as I mentioned, Waldorf 100 celebration was like a whole year of planning. It was almost ruined by the rain, but we came together. We put our big boy rain pants on and we made it happen. So here is a heartfelt performance from that day by our faculty, and it's going to be our final look at some of the students.
This is my soul. Here are
And that's going to do it, folks. Thank you all so much for everything you do for the school. Thank you so much to the whole Spring Night team, to our technical directors. Please stick around and watch the credits and the final messages, but I'm signing off. I'm going to go get ready for the after party. All the best to you, my dear, dear friends. Stay safe. Keep taking care of each other. Have a good night.
Thanks, parents. You hit it out of the park.
Tough believe. Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of our community and supporting our work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Najon Sepen Kusanam.
Thank you so much, everyone.
תודה רבה.
Thank you.
谢谢你。
Спасибо большое. За все.
Ekle Uye, we miss you so much.
Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Merci, chers amis, chers parents, d'être venus et pour soutenir notre chère école. École de San Francisco. Vive, vive l'école de San Francisco.
Yeah, I do. Guys, I don't know what to wear for the after party. Should I be Cowboy Colin? Or should I be Ship Captain Colin?
Colin, you're worried about this too much. Just throw on a Western Aloha shirt and you'll be fine.
Mitch, you gotta be a helper. Jenna, what are you wearing?
Come on, it's the after party. DJ Consuelo's getting funky. I'm ready to boogie with my sparkle cape.
Whoa.